This is PreCalc 11, Chapter 7.4. We're going to be looking at adding and subtracting polynomial rational expressions with polynomial denominators. So the thing that's changing is we're looking at polynomial denominators rather than monomial denominators. So the concept is no different. We need to factor the polynomials and look for the lowest common denominator. So let's look at this example. First thing we want to do is factor 3x plus 1, and this factors into x plus 2 and x plus 1, minus, and 2x minus 3, and this factors into x minus 3, x plus 2. We look at these, and we want to find the common ones. That's x plus 2. And then we just add the other ones, x plus 1 and x minus 3. Just leave it in factored form. Copy this down. 3x plus 1, put it in brackets. We have x plus 2, x plus 1, and we're multiplying by x minus 3 over x minus 3. And we copy this one down to x minus 3, x minus 3, x plus 2, and we're missing the x plus 1. Now we combine them together. However, we leave the denominator in factored form. And we want to expand the numerator, 3x squared minus 9x plus x, so that's minus 8x, and minus 3. And put this one in brackets. We have 2x squared. We have minus 3. We have plus 2, so that's minus x. And minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. And we have x plus 2, x plus 1, and x minus 3. Now we group like terms. So 3x squared minus 2x squared, that is x squared, minus 8x. These two negatives cancel out, so it becomes plus x, so that's minus 7x, minus 3, and these minuses cancel out, so we don't have to add anything else. And we'll leave the denominator factored. And we can factor the numerator if you like. This is just x, x minus 7, x plus 2, x plus 1, and x minus 3. Okay, and our domain is x does not equal negative 2, negative 1, and 3. And our non-permissible values, x equals negative 2, negative 1, or 3. So it's a lot of work to do this question. You can just answer in factored form. If you try to expand it, you might get an arithmetic error. So if you're asked to expand, then expand. Otherwise, just leave it. Okay, let's look at another example. Again, we need to start off by factoring. So it's very important that you have very quick factoring skills. This is positive plus 5, x minus 1, plus 5x minus 2x, that's 3x. This works best if you factor out a 3 first, it makes it easier. Okay, and then the 3's cancel out, and we're left with 1. And then we have x plus 2, x minus 1. So our lowest common denominator, 2x plus 5, x minus 1. They both have x minus 1, so we don't need to write it down again, and x plus 2. 2, and we just copy down the same thing, 2x plus 5, x minus 1. And we need to multiply by the missing factor, and that's x plus 2. And minus, copy down the same thing again. And the missing factor is 2x plus 5. And we expand the numerator. We leave the denominator alone. This is 2x plus 4 minus 2x plus 5. Put it in brackets. That way you don't get a negative sign error. And copy the denominator. And group like terms. 2x minus 2x. And that results in 0. So we have 4 minus 5, that's just negative 1. And we just have to write down our domain. This is x does not equal negative 5 over 2, 1, and negative 2. So our non-permissive values are the opposite. X equals negative 5 over 2, or 1, or negative 2. So rational expressions show up in word problems. And you have to adjust the product expressions into rational expressions. So when we have distance equals velocity times time, we get distance over time equals velocity, or time equals distance over velocity. And when we have the area of a rectangle, L times W, the length is equal to the area divided by the width, or the width is equal to the area divided by the length. And we have work equals rate times time. So time equals work divided by rate, or rate equals work divided by time. And when we have cost is price times units, the price is equal to the cost divided by the number of units, or the number of units is equal to the cost divided by price. So let's look at an example. The train is traveling 712 kilometers from Vancouver to Golden. The train averages 10 kilometers faster on the return trip. Write a simplified expression for the total time to go there and back. So time is equal to distance divided by velocity. This means time is equal to our 712 kilometers divided by the velocity. And on the return trip, it's still 712 kilometers, but the velocity is 10 kilometers faster. So we have that. This means our LCD is V times V plus 10. So this equals 712 over V, and we need to multiply this by V plus 10 over V plus 10. Don't forget the brackets. And we have 712 over V plus 10. And we need to multiply this one by V over V. Now we expand the numerator. We get 712V plus 7120 plus 712V. And this is all over V times V plus 10. And we combine like terms. We get 1428V plus 7120 all over V times V plus 10. And if you like, we can factor something under the numerator. And the largest factor is 4. So we have 4 times 357 v plus 1780 over v times v plus 10. And we need our domain. V does not equal 0 or negative 10. And our NPVs are the opposite, so v equals 0 or negative 10. Let's look at another example. One guy can paint a fence in a certain amount of hours. Another painter can paint the same fence 30 minutes faster. Write a simplified expression for the amount of time for them to paint the fence together. So the formula that we'll use is time equals work divided by rate. So they want to paint one fence. And the rates for the painters are work divided by time. So the first painter, we don't know what his rate is, so we'll just say X hours. The other painter, now it's very important to be careful, faster in this case means less time. So it's X minus, and we need to use the same units. We're using hours here. So 30 minutes is half an hour. So his time is X minus a half. Our lowest common denominator is X times X minus a half. Now we need to multiply by the missing factors. So we have 1 over X, and this is times X minus 1 half over X minus 1 half. And any time you're using a non-monomial, you should use brackets. 1 over X minus 1 half, and this is X over X. Now we expand the numerator of the denominator. So this is just X minus 1 half plus, and this is just X. And our LCD is X minus a half. Now, what we have here is a fraction in the denominator. So we reciprocate and multiply, but we're just multiplying by 1. So it's just X minus 1 half. And we add these two together, 2X minus 1 half. And it's not required to factor this. And the note here is multiply by reciprocal of denominator. And we need to specify our domain. X does not equal 0, 1 half, and 1/4. And it's 1/4 because we have 2x minus 1 half equals 0. So 2x equals 1 half, x equals 1/4. And our NPVs, x equals 0, a half, and 1/4. And that completes this lesson.